I wanted to be a real estate investor, but I thought it would take up all of my time and money. Luckily, I thought it doesn't have to take up either. Would it be helpful to learn how you can leverage other people's time and money to help you achieve your goals?
Welcome to Levelin Up with Brigham Blackham. I'm so grateful for this opportunity to share a few insights on things that I just learned. I just learned some awesome things about how to build curiosity, how to make sure that you can create more value for people by letting them tell you how interested they are, right? By doing something called a puppy dog head tilt, right? Sharing some information that makes them say, I wonder if that could work for me. Now, if you want to go and create more opportunities on social media, this is going to be a great training for you. All of you repeat viewers, thank you for tuning in. All of you people that are live, thank you for attending. This is fantastic. Welcome, Chuck and Tamara and Chelsea and all of you guys. So we're going to get started here talking about curiosity posts. Now, the curious thing about curiosity posts is if you tell the whole story at the very beginning, there's nothing left to be curious about. But there are so many different ways that we can create value by having alluded to an answer or having alluded to a solution, but not providing it yet. Now, social media is a storytelling platform. And today we're going to be going into one of one of the ideas in my book, Leveling Up Your Social Media. And I hope today you get a lot of value. You get something from it that you're like, I can do that. I can write a curiosity post. It doesn't take that long. There's some formulas that allow me to do this with confidence. So I'm going to share my screen right now and give you just another insight on how to do this. And not just how, but why. Because if you have people opt into what you're doing, it's a much better conversation than if you are just telling them, diarrhea of the mouth. So here you go. I'm going to share my screen, make this a little bit larger. And let me know if you guys can see this. If it's a little too tiny, I want to make sure you've got this. So we're going to hit present. And it's all about curiosity posts. And this is from my book. And I'll give you the link at the end so that you can know, hey, I can absolutely do this too. Now, the thing about curiosity posts is a curiosity post is intentionally leading prospects to self-identify that they are interested in whatever it is that you're sharing and create leads, conversation, a direct message, and you're not trying to sell anything. That's a key distinction. When you're building your business online and you're focused on attracting people to you, this is a value post. This is something that gets people interested. And then as you hear what it is that they are interested about, you can be interested in them and say, oh, tell me, why did that interest you? What is it about real estate investing that makes you, perk up your ears or lift your eyebrows? What is it that allows you to say, oh, I want to know more about that? A curiosity post. That's what our goal is today, is to help you be empowered to leave 2 curiosity posts per week. But I want you to, if you've never done a curiosity post, I want you to do it today. I want you to try one. And we're going to give you the opportunity to do that. So there's a very simple formula, but think about this. You want to be very intentional with what you're building curiosity about. If you're building curiosity about somebody else's product or service, or building curiosity about, say, a movie that has nothing to do with you, sure, you could get some great engagement. However, are you serving your audience the way that they want to be served? And are you helping yourself grow your business? Probably not. So only create curiosity about your business, about your opportunity, about what it is that you are wanting to attract as far as an audience. Now, part of this idea is making sure that you aren't just saying stuff, right? You are actually having something worth saying. There's a Kenyan proverb that says, before you open your mouth, why don't you fill your head? And today we're going to be filling some ideas in your head that you're like, I can take that and I can do something with it. So here's a formula. I got this formula from 2 different people I absolutely love, Coach Brian Fryer and Rob Sperry. Love these guys. They're brilliant. And I think it's such a useful formula that I wanted to give them attribution here. But check this out. Whatever it is that you're interested in, right? Let's say you are in the Airbnb business, right? The short-term rental business. You're like, hey, Airbnb has always interested me, but, and then let's say a pain point, but I don't know how to find the fund. I never knew how to find the funds to buy multiple short-term rentals. And it seems like a headache in the middle of the night having to take care of all these people that are calling from across the nation. Luckily, I finally figured it out. That's the whole post. Think about it. If you heard that and you're actually interested in being a short-term rental host, you're like, I don't want to be woken up in the night and I want to learn how to find money. I wonder if that would help solve my problem. If that would help me with some way that I can go and become a more efficient short-term rental host. So let's try it with another thing. So if you're a real estate investor, and you like to do fix and flips. You're like, hey, I've always been interested in fix and flipping. But fix and flipping has always interested me, but I never knew how to systemize it, so I wasn't tied to the property. Luckily, I think I finally figured it out. That's such a simple thing that you can come up with. What it is that you're interested in, a pain point that you know how to solve, a challenge that you know how to solve, and then luckily, I think I figured it out. Now, notice you're alluding to a solution. You're not telling the solution. When you allude to a solution, that lets people be like, well, what's next? It's a cliffhanger. If you've ever had a cliffhanger moment in a series on television, they'll tell 95% of the story and they'll leave the last moment for the next season. You're like, oh, now I have to watch because I don't know if he kisses her or she slaps him. I need to know. So whatever it is that you're building your business, maybe you have an e-commerce business. You're like, hey, online stores have always interested me, but I never knew how to source my product and sell to people without me having to touch it. Luckily, I think I figured it out. Whatever it is that you are interested in and you are actively promoting in your business, if you have a challenge that you know how to solve now, these can be very simple. You don't even have to come live on camera. You can literally type these, copy and paste that, and insert the pain points that you think are going to be the biggest things that hit the emotional heartstrings of your audience. Okay, next. One of the things that I think is really helpful is as you are building curiosity,
I didn't get that.
Oh,
Could you try again?
oh, guys, if you're not getting it, I'm gonna have to say it again. Thank you. All right, that right there was AI listening in. But you want to build 2 curiosity posts a week. And you think about this, if you build curiosity, and it doesn't have to look exactly the same, but you build curiosity, you allude to a solution. You're like, man, I've always wanted to do a fix and flip, and I finally got under contract on X, Y, or Z. What do you think I should do about this horrible yard and the shutters? Pain point, pain point. I think I figured it out, but I'd love to hear what you think. And you get some feedback, you get engagement. And remember, this is focusing on having people raising their hands, say, oh, I would like to engage in that conversation. I'd like to understand more about that thing you're talking about. And it'll encourage them to connect with you because you piqued their interest on something they wanted, and then you didn't quite give it to them yet. Now, one of the things that you can do here is this is not a strategy that takes a super long time out of your day. You can do it in 3 to 5 minutes. You think of the pain point that you want someone that has that pain point to come to you. And you can think of another one and you bring them together and then you write that little post. Now, here's one thing that you have to be careful of, right? You want to keep it simple and don't DOTM, right? Diarrhea of the mouth. If you keep it simple and you have it so that people can self-select, saying, oh yes, that does apply to me. Yes, that absolutely is me. Then you can start to attract people to you. But if you say, oh, and then I didn't know how to do this or this or this and this and this, and you start spewing all of these different things, eventually they'll be like, oh, I guess that's not me. And that's completely counterproductive. So keep it simple. And here's a great formula. After you've used this framework up here at the top, right, where it's whatever you're interested in has always interested me, but pain point one, pain point two. Luckily, I think I figured it out. You can use this formula. Check it out. So you have your time frame, right? For the last 5 years, or I've had this pain for a really long time. What is that struggle? Maybe you sell supplements. You're like, man, I've had a pain in my gut for the last 15 years. And you show a picture of before. You're like, I didn't realize how poorly my health was until I went to the doctor, and he said, hey, you've got really bad acid reflux. You need to make a huge change. And you're like, I'm so grateful that I met Devin, because things are starting to change. And then you're done. That's the whole thing. And you have a picture of you happy, or a picture of you eating something that you really enjoy. Whatever it is that you're selling, as long as you're building curiosity towards your business, and you're funneling people towards that desired result of raising their hand and saying, oh, that's me. I would like to know more about that, please. Can you tell me a little bit more about how you did that? Now, let's use another real estate example. If for the last 5 years, you're like, man, I've always wanted to get into wholesaling properties. I started thinking about this when I read Robert Kiyosaki's book, Rich Dad, Poor Dad in high school. And then I realized, man, I really want to build assets. I want to figure out how to create massive income so I can turn that money into long-term passive income. And I think I found a solution. Wish me luck. Those frameworks, how long does that take you to come up with? You can even simplify it more. Because if you keep it simple and you make it simple enough that someone that reads it at a glance can say, oh, I wonder how they did do that. They'll engage with you. They'll DM you. And if you have a simple way that you're building interest, you can engage in a conversation. Because remember, all wealth is created through conversations. And with curiosity posts, remember, you're not sharing the whole story. You're sharing enough of the story to have them kind of tilt their head like a puppy dog and say, huh, I wonder if that would work for me. I wonder if they actually have an answer to that. One of the things I've learned from multiple people, but Steve Larson's one that pops into my head. He says, if you can clearly articulate the challenge or the problem, then you can absolutely let your audience know that you know how to solve it by the way you articulate the challenge or the problem. If you have no idea how to talk about it, then all of those things that you bring up aren't really helpful. So that's curiosity posts. Now I want to go, and I'm going to stop sharing just for a second. I wanted to see who online here would be willing to try out a curiosity post. And you don't even have to post it yet. I just want to interact with you guys. Good morning, Joy. Good morning, Tamara. We've got Chuck and Chelsea and Jakar. Welcome. So tell me, who would be willing to come off mute and share their version of a curiosity post? It could be something as simple as, you know what I just learned? And they're like, what? You built curiosity. You're like, man, I can't believe that this just happened. I found out that Airbnb can totally block all of your properties without you having a say. You know what I did to fix it? And you're like, what? That's engagement. So let's see if any of you are open to come off mute. I don't know. Sometimes we're like,
I'll come off mute.
There
Good
she
morning,
is. Hey,
Brigham.
I got to see your face too, though. I don't care what the background is. Shit.
I'm getting there. Good
There
morning.
you are. Perfect. Love it.
I had to walk downstairs real quick.
Fantastic.
Okay,
go ahead.
I had to
What's
look
a
at my
challenge that
picture.
you've been dealing with for a long time, or like a pain that you're like, oh, I want to figure this out?
So the curiosity post, what was it supposed to say? Okay.
I can share this again for you just for a second. So
I took a picture.
Perfect. The time frame.
Luckily, I think I figured out. Okay. So I couldn't figure out how to create my own family bank.
Yeah.
It was so confusing. And it looked very tedious.
Yeah.
Luckily, I have mentors that are walking me through it.
Nice. There you go.
That was good. Yay.
That was good. That literally. Well, luckily, I have mentors that are walking me through it. And then what that lets your audience know is, oh, she has some mentors that could help with that specific challenge. What's another way you could say the same thing? What's another way you could say it?
I was always curious about creating my family bank,
Mhm.
but the pain point, let's see. I thought it was too cumbersome, and it required money that I didn't have.
Mm.
Luckily, I found out it's easier than I thought.
Nice. That's a very engaging start. That's a great curiosity post. You could literally post that today, and I'll bet you'll have someone in your audience be like, wait, it's easier than I thought? Are you serious? Let me know more. Now, remember, the key to a curiosity post is engagement with that ideal customer or that ideal prospect. And if you use the right words that kind of strum their heartstrings and help them feel those emotions, that's why you have to be very conscientious of which pain points you choose, because you want to make sure, hey, if they have this pain point and this pain point, oh, that's for me, right?
I did use one, actually, now that I'm looking at you thinking about this, and I
Love
did
it.
get some engagement. So my
Let's hear
pain
it.
point that I used was during tax time. I
Mm,
said, is anybody else sick of giving over 20% of their money to the tax man or to the IRS? And I got people saying, it's brutal over here. And yes, you guys are lucky because we get much more people from across the world, right?
yeah.
I didn't expect that. So I learned that people across the world have way harsher tax laws than what we are dealing with. And I felt a little weird for complaining after I learned that. So it was cool.
So after you had them like self-select saying, I want to complain about taxes,
Hmm.
did you allude to a solution that they're like, what if there was a legal, ethical, and moral way that you could pay less in taxes? Or you could pay
And
only what you have to pay in taxes rather than uh, the standard deduction.
exceeding your obligation, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, so that is exactly the part that I'm working on. Following up, asking open-ended questions instead of saying, oh, that means you're interested, stuff like that, you know. I'm trying to not be excited and let my excitement, it's a thin line, right? Being
Yeah.
excited and then turning someone away because you're excited and they think that something's wrong. So there's like a thin line of, you know, you said don't word vomit on them.
Right. Now,
There's a very thin line of being excited and word vomiting.
can I give you a secret?
Go for it.
This is so good. And it's a way that you can prevent your word vomiting. Are you ready for it?
Hmm.
Are you sure?
Hmm.
Okay. Once you get their buy-in, meaning just like what I did with you, I got you to say, are you okay if I give you this? And you're like, yeah, yeah. You get their permission, then you ask them questions and be interested rather than trying to be interesting. Does that make sense?
It does. It does. Just so somebody said, if you repeat back in your head what they're saying to you instead of trying to, I think I have this problem talking in my head while they're talking, answering it so I can remember what they're saying.
Yeah.
And instead of trying to do that so I don't forget what they said, just repeat what they're saying in your head. And so you can derive your questions from that instead of, okay, you said that, but, you know, jumping over it. So, yes, this is really helpful. Thank you, Brigham.
You're welcome. You're welcome. Now, let's say you have someone that was interested in multifamily. I know that's one of your interests as well. Let's try it with a multifamily example. Is that fair?
Totally.
Okay, go ahead. What are two pain points that someone that you would want to
Mm.
attract have in the multifamily space that you have already figured out how you could solve those challenges?
would be more helpful doing something that I'm working on instead of asking about something that I'm not really working on.
Because it's building for your business, right? Not just random stuff.
I always wanted to be a real estate investor, but not let it, or, okay. So, I wanted to be a real estate investor, but I thought it would take up all of my time and money.
Money.
Luckily, I found out that it doesn't have to take up either. Would it be helpful to learn how you can leverage other people's time and money to help you achieve your goals?
Let me just simplify it just a little bit because it sounds sales pitchy now.
Okay. Okay.
Do
So,
you hear the end of it, how it changed?
I do.
Okay.
So, we'll take out the would it be possible?
Yeah, because that sounds like a very
Or,
direct call to action instead of an
okay.
invitation to engage. Do you
Okay.
hear the difference though?
I do. I
Okay,
do.
try it again.
So, wow, now I forgot what I said. So
Okay, so you've
I
always
always
wanted
wanted to be a real estate investor, but
to be
I
more
thought it
specific.
would,
Real estate investor is like everything, right?
okay, okay.
What did you want to invest in? 32
I
unit
wanted,
apartment complexes.
wow, you remembered. I always wanted to buy an apartment complex, bigger than 10 units, right? But I thought I needed all of my time and all of my money to do it.
Luckily,
Oh, yeah. Luckily, I found out I don't have to,
nice, done, right?
right? Period. And let
That's
them
more
ask.
engaging right there, the way that you said it. And if you think about this with what you're currently doing, I'm not saying, hey, change everything you're doing. All I'm saying
Mhm,
is be specific with what points you're sharing. Because there's
mhm,
some pain points that might not attract the right people and might encourage complaining. Like maybe the tax one that you brought up is just bringing complainers about taxes. That's not actually who you want to attract, right? You want to attract
mhm,
people that want to do something proactively about their tax situation so they can pay significantly less and only pay the exact dollar amount that they have to, not $1 more, right? Because that's American, is not paying taxes.
mhm.
That's American, right? That's what we do. We pay only what we have to, not what we thought we needed to because of ignorance. So thank you, Chelsea, for sharing that. And
Awesome.
I'm going to see if Joy or Tamara or Chuck or Drakkar would like to come off mute and share an example from their background. And if you don't, that's okay. I can find one or two from my own, and we can sign off. But I wanted to give you guys that chance. So Drakkar or Chuck, Tamara or Joy. First one off gets to get some direct coaching on how to do this. And we can literally build one that you can make today and put it online. And remember, my call to action for all of you guys, everyone that's watching, all of you repeat viewers, is go and do this today. Go find a way that you can create a curiosity post, just like what I shared, and put it online. See what happens. How many people raise their hands and say, oh, I want to know that. I want to know that thing that you're talking about. I want to understand more about that. We're like, hey, how did you solve that problem? What was the way that you got out of the 9 to 5 and into what you're doing? Tell me a little bit more. Because if you have that type of engagement, is that not a better qualified prospect than someone that you're like, hey, random person on social media that hasn't heard from me in 6 years. Do you want to learn about how to buy 32 unit apartment complexes? And they're like, I don't even know you. I barely know you. We had one class in high school together. I haven't heard from you forever. Very different. All right. Can you hear the difference in how that goes? So we're going to see if one of you guys want to come off mute. And if not, that's okay. Because it's all about building curiosity. And I know that you guys can do this. And we'll see. So we've got Joy and Tamara, Chuck and Drakkar going once. We'll see. Going twice. All right. Now, guys, I've got Hugh Zaretsky coming up at 9. Oh, 1 second. I need to double check my timing on that. I think it's 9:30, if I remember right, Mountain Standard Time. And we're going to be talking about how to press the launch button. So we'll end this one for a little bit, and then we'll come back right at 9:30 and have an opportunity to hear from Hugh Zareski. Well, half an hour of hearing how he came up with his book, his concepts, his mentorship programs, all the different things that he's done. And he's one of our great mentors. I absolutely love this guy. So if you haven't heard Hugh Zareski recently, you don't want to miss it because he's phenomenal. And he just wrote a book called The Launch Button. And I've got the book, really excited to read it. And we're going to be talking about how he came up with it. What are some of the ideas that are principle based that you can apply right now in your real estate investing business, and how to find source or fund different deals and really put it all together. He's got a great program. I'm really grateful to have him on. So, oh, no worries, Joy. Thank you so much for being on recuperating from being sick. That is too bad. But guys, I want to make sure that you have this framework and you have all of the information you need to be able to get this book, okay? Because one of the reasons that I do this is to add value, to give you more opportunities to engage with people on social media, because it's one of the few ways that you can borrow other people's audiences for free. And if you're serious about being curious and doing these curiosity posts, you can start to have people self-select and raise their hands. Marketing is all that. I saw this great commercial a couple months ago. I was like, this is marketing done right. There was David Beckham, and I think it was Henri. They were like, oh, I need a Doritos, or no, it was a Lay's commercial. Like, I need a Lay's because they were out of chips. And they went to the whole stadium like, hey, who has Lay's chips here? You can come and sit by us. And everybody in the stadium was like, oh, they're like holding up their Lay's bags, and they're looking like, who has a full bag? Who has a full bag? And oh, that guy has a full bag, and that one, oh, that guy has two. You get to come sit by us. And he came down, and it was just sorting, like, 30, 40,000 people. They sorted until they found the guy that had, 2 bags of Lay's potato chips. And you think about it, if we can sort with that type of razor focus, we find those that are ready, able, and willing, that want to engage with us, that have a desire to hear more. Those conversations can lead to something very impressive, something that changes their life and yours. But if you are trying to force ideas down somebody's throat, you're doing that diarrhea of the mouth thing, we're just verbally vomiting, even on social media, which happens very often, just stop it, right? Start sorting. I hope this has been helpful, guys. Do a curiosity post today. I challenge you. It could be, you know what I just learned? Say one thing you just learned, and then you could put without whatever the pain point. And then at the very bottom, say, luckily, I think I figured it out. You could do something of that nature. Anything that builds enough curiosity towards your business that someone will engage with you, raise their hand, DM you, or start a conversation. So I hope this is helpful. Hope you guys got some serious value from it today. And remember, you want to go to Brigham Blackham on YouTube and like and subscribe. I actually have multiple trainings about social media and social media engagement, how to improve your social media. And I want to make sure you guys are getting the most value possible. And when you have an opportunity to engage with me on my podcast, please feel free to do so. It is every Thursday morning at 8 a.m. And remember, we've got Hugh Zareski coming up at 9:30 today. So don't miss it. It'll be awesome. Okay, have a great day, guys, and God bless.